What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down a VSL script framework that I've pretty much just developed on my own. So the whole framework is pretty simple, or it's psychologically pretty simple. So start off with an introduction. We expand on the headline. So, for example, I'm just going to go through something that I wrote for somebody I worked with back in university couple months ago. Not even a couple months ago. Actually, yeah, a couple months ago. But start off with the introduction. In the next couple of minutes, I will be showing you exactly how, well, it should be exactly. And this is basically just helping people or just basically enticing people to actually watch the video. And it's sparking curiosity as to what you're actually going to tell them. So in the next couple of minutes, I'll be showing you exactly how you can discover your life's purpose in just the next 7 days. Um, next 7 days is basically you're basically just telling people, "Hey, I can get you this outcome in this amount of time." And usually that amount of time should be like a short amount of time. So, for example, in just the next 7 days, you can discover your life's purpose. I mean, it's pretty much unheard of, unless you're using AI or something. But I know what you're thinking. How can I possibly discover my life's purpose in just 7 days? Now you're attacking their beliefs. Like, well, how is that even possible in just 7 days? Well, I'm glad you asked. Before I dive into the details, what even is a purpose and why is it so important? You see, a purpose. So, like here, you're basically telling people, okay, well, before I tell you how I can actually get you this outcome in such a short amount of time, let me tell you what this even is and why it's so important. So like now you're educating them. Um, your purpose is what keeps you driven and excited for life. It's exactly what you need to truly live a life without regret and without purpose. Who would you be? And it's, this I didn't write this. The guy I was working with was pretty spiritual, so I don't even know what this means to be honest. Um, but address the problem that now from the introduction, you're moving on to the problem. So you see, nowadays, most young adults in the generation are faced with what I like to call the great mental warfare. So now you're addressing a problem that needs to be solved, and you're selling the solution to that problem, basically, or you're positioning yourself as the authority figure to actually solve that problem. So let's go to the script. We have the highest record of wealth ever, crime rates, all-time lows. Theory, we should be happy and fulfilled, right? However, depression, anxiety, loneliness, record high. Um, you're basically just describing like the whole situation of what's going on and why it's actually happening. So even though we have all these great things, this problem still exists because people don't know their purpose. And we're selling that transformation from being depressed, lonely, anxious, or just directionless, and helping them become uh, self-assured and giving them clarity as to what their purpose actually is. So something is wrong with how we perceive and pursue happiness. How can you blame the youth when we're constantly flooded with information and options? Let's go to the script a bit more. This means that more young adults than ever are unaware of their full potential and they have zero idea what they want to do with their life. So now we're getting into the actual solution, which is finding their purpose. So, however, when young adults do put effort into discovering their purpose, they tend to believe that, okay, so now we're getting into the limiting beliefs or false beliefs. So, when adults do put effort into discovering their purpose, they believe that they need to pick the perfect quote unquote career path. They need more motivation or they just aren't good enough to make an impact. But the truth is, you don't need any of that. You just need direction. And you don't need to be an expert. You just need to do something that's aligned with your natural skill set, talents, and just who you are in general. So, aligned with your personality, skill sets, and talent. So why this problem exists? Well, there's three reasons why. Here's the three problems. Now we're addressing why this problem actually exists. Like why do people not know what their purpose is? Why are people directionless? And it's because they lack introspection. They feel pressured by society, like they're doing things that they don't want to do, but they're doing it because other people are telling them. Like for example, going to university, even though you don't want to and you know it's not for you, but you still go because you're being pressured by your parents. For example, that was my situation. I dropped out. Glad I did. Same time, well, it's not. This isn't about me, but maybe for another time. But lack of introspection, societal pressure, and overstimulation. So when you're always doing something, you don't have any time to think. You don't have any time to like reflect. That's actually a problem for me personally. But anyways, your solution and why it was created. So now we're getting to your solution, which is the purpose, for example, and why you created this solution. Like what actually drove you to solve this problem for people. So um, in here we're telling a story, some backstory to further relate with people. But basically, it's like telling the backstory. The whole purpose of that is so that we can position that backstory as the tipping point to why the solution was created. So, for example, unrelated to this, maybe your backstory is that you were like insecure about yourself, and then your tipping point, you're describing it here with your backstory, and your solution that you're selling is to be extremely confident about yourself. For example, like that's another example we could go with. Um, but yeah, this section, your solution, why it was created, um, noticing a common pattern against a lot of people that he talked to, and he discovered that most people he spoke to had no idea what was stopping them from actually living up to their potential, and even if they did, they were afraid to talk about it. They just didn't have anyone to talk about it with. So then the next section, social proof. This is basically the credibility that actually gets people to trust you and trust that you can actually solve the problem for them. So for the past 10 years, I've helped, or he's helped, hundreds of people discover their purpose and overcome limiting beliefs. And he's seen what it's like for people to go from lost and directionless to confident in the direction they're going and excited to jump out of bed every day because they've helped them. He's helped these people achieve the solution that he's selling in this VSL, which is discovering their purpose. And then here, take a look at what our students have to say. You would insert a bunch of video testimonials and stuff here. Or maybe if you're selling a fitness offer or a day trading offer or something like that, you could just post like screenshots and stuff. But here you have the chance at being our next success story. I don't know why I stuttered. But here with this specific line or this section, you're making the reader or you're making the viewer believe that it's actually possible for them to make the same change in their life, not only because of the social proof, but because you're saying you have the chance to be our next success story. So that's giving them hope. And after that, we have who is this for? Archetypes, anti-archetypes. So now we're going to filter out who this is actually for, like who qualifies and who doesn't. Why me? Another reason why you should trust, or why the reader or viewer should trust you. Or actually, no. Another reason why they should work with you, not trust you. This is where this section is meant to help the viewer trust you. This section is meant to help the viewer decide why they should work with you instead of working with someone else who's also selling the same solution. So, for example, here we're saying that compared to other people who have massive amounts of clientele and they don't have like time or the ability to like really connect with people one on one. He's saying that with by working with him, you can get one on one personalized guidance and you can actually get attention, like personal direct attention, unlike most people, and or unlike the competition. And another reason why, second, we're young, so they understand the situation. And then third, we're not your average teachers. We don't like tests and quizzes. You actually go through hands-on learning and interactive discussions. So that's also like breaking some like I wouldn't say limiting beliefs, but you're making them um, feel like it's actually something that they would enjoy like doing, or it makes them feel like it's something new that you're offering. And another thing, last of all, we're in this one long term. We don't believe in short term success. That's another qualifying line. Like you're basically filtering out people that want quick success. Um, and then we have the next section, why now? Why is it important to discover your purpose? Um, Now we're educating people on why they should do it now instead of waiting in like later in life as to um, well you get the gist. Why discover your purpose now? Why not just wait and let life show you what your purpose is? Like now you're actually sparking some sort of urgency in people so that they can actually take the next step forward with you. Then we have offer benefits. So now we're showing the benefits of actually working with you, like keeping you accountable, supporting you in your goals, pointing you in the right direction, helping you avoid setbacks or like problems. And then the last one, or second to last one, guarantee and risk reversal. So now you're telling them like, hey, even if we don't get you this solution, we will personally work with you until you do. Um, but you're also telling them that as long as you participate with an open mind and you actually put in the effort, you're going to be 10 steps ahead of most people your age. So then you're going to have a clearer direction in where you want to go with your life. So then we have the last one, the last section, which is the call to action. So if you want to be the next success story and finally rid yourself of the anxiety, stress, and fear of your future, um, this is like stating their pains basically. Your next step is to simply click the button below and join our Discord group. Once you're in, all you have to do is what right here, and like you don't ever say if. Like the word if should almost never be used. You should always assume the sale, because it psychologically makes people believe that, hey, I'm already gonna go with this. Let me just see what else I need to know before getting started. So hopefully that makes sense. But click the button below, join our group. Once you're in, all you have to do is X, Y, and Z, and then end off with "We can't wait to see you on the other side." So that's the whole like VSL framework, the whole structure. If you found this useful, or if you want me to write your VSL for you, then just send me a DM on Instagram. There's probably a link in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching.